Hi guys, this is Mel, and I'm here to talk about Arrow, episode 512, titled Bratva, which premiered Wednesday, February 8th, 2017 on the CW. So guys, quick reminder, huge spoiler alert. If you haven't watched the episode for the first time, I suggest you go watch that first before you check out what I have to say about the episode. Otherwise, my other reminders for my videos are up on screen right now. So with that all said, let's start the 10-minute clock and let's begin with what has happened. So timeline-wise, I'm guessing it's been a few days at most, maybe a day at least, because it shows Oliver doing a press conference that officially releases Diggle back into the city. He's not a jailed up criminal. So that's why I think it's only been a day or two or a few days. Big episode reminder, though, is the fact that we go back to Russia in the present day. So there's that. Based on the episode breakdown, though, again, we get storyline taking place in Russia for number one. And then we have a second storyline happening in Star City. And then also the flashbacks, but we'll get to that in a moment. So based off of what happens in Russia, we pretty much see the Arrow team tracking down General Walker, who plans to sell his stolen nuclear weapon there. Thankfully, they managed to capture him and have Argus escort him back to Star City to have Justice take a whirl at him. But also we see Oliver doing a Bratva favor, even though he didn't want to. We also see Felicity and Diggle crossing their own lines while on this mission. And then we also see Rory using his rags to form a protective cocoon around the nuclear device before it goes off. But in doing so, it rendered the rags powerless. So he can no longer be Ragman. So there is that. Now back in Star City for storyline number 2, we get Renee staying behind to help with Quentin Lance, who is out of rehab, prepare for his interview with Susan Williams. Although while doing the preparation, we get Lance getting a bit defensive, especially when Renee brings up Damien Dark and Laurel Lance, knowing that Susan's bound to go in that direction. In the end, we don't see the actual interview, but we hear from Lance that he thinks she went easy on him. But because of that, we find out that Renee actually talked to Susan and shared a story about Lance and Renee. Apparently, they have history together. Lance was actually the one who told Renee when he was a kid that he is meant for better. So that moment set him off on the right path for him. So there is that. Flashback-wise, we get Talia al Ghul helping Oliver cross off a name on the list when they decided to do business in Russia. And Oliver has plans to lead the Bratva so he can return to Starling City to continue his father's mission. But he puts that on hold when he finds out that Anatoly got attacked. And Oliver plans to kill the man who attacked Anatoly. I believe his name was Gregor. So there's that. Last moments of the episode showed Susan Williams realizing that Oliver could be the Green Arrow due to finding intel about his Bratva connections, also connecting to a man in a hooded figure being connected to some Bratva crimes back 5 years ago. So the whole coincidence type thing is kind of having them realizing that Oliver could be the Green Arrow. Though I don't get how they don't realize that he could have also been the Hood, or he could have also been the Arrow as well. So it's like, why does everyone still think that the Green Arrow is different from the Arrow, who's different from the Hood? So there's that. Tidbits, though, guys. It looks like Rory is temporarily gone because his rags lost his power, but he claims he's going to be back. Thea is also out of town on business, and it looks like Felicity still has the Helix drive. It seems like she has kind of put a stop to using it, but who knows how long she's going to keep that up. So there's that. Moving on to the most shocking moment of the episode, I have to say the fact that Rory decided he was leaving because he has no more power over the rags. That's kind of disappointing. I mean, the rest of the people on the team don't have any power, so it's like he could still be on. He just has to train a little harder to be on their level again. But I guess if he's back in the field, he could always forget that his rags don't have powers anymore, and he might put himself in a position that could easily kill him. So I guess I can understand why he's leaving, but it's kind of sad that we just got him and now he's leaving. So there's that. Moving on, though, to top 3 favorite moments. My first favorite has to be the fact that Oliver showed his concern for Felicity and Diggle crossing their own lines when he went to do something he refused to do. Oliver went to go do the favor that Bratva wanted him to do just so that Felicity and Diggle didn't cross over their lines even further when trying to get the same intel that he would have gotten by doing the favor to begin with. And then Oliver and Felicity and Diggle having that conversation about him saying that he's fine going over the line, that's who he is, but he can't have them doing it because they're meant to be better than him. And they have to stay being better than him so they could prove that Prometheus is wrong, that Oliver doesn't corrupt the people around him. But then they counter saying that they make each other better. So I really like that we got the original team showing their support like that at the end of the episode. Second favorite moment has to be Tina. I'm calling her Tina because that's how I was introduced to. So the new canary, or new black canary, telling Oliver to focus on the good and not the bad like Prometheus wants him to. It's in the car after they deal with the Bratva favor together, and he tells her about what Prometheus is accusing him of, being poisoned and all that, and Tina is telling him that instead of focusing on just the bad and the wrong that you've been doing, focus on the good and the right that you've done as well. And the fact that he offers more than just his fists and his skills of fighting and death and all that, and killing and all that. So I really like that. You're definitely showing a strong possible connection between the two of them, even if it's just as colleagues, even if it's just as partners and friends. I'm liking it. I can see them going a long way as friends, for sure. As long as there's no relationship between them, I'm fine with it. Last favorite moment for me has to be the fact that we found out that there is more of a connection between Renee and Quentin Lance. I wasn't expecting it, so I was really surprised that Renee revealed that he had a moment with Lance in his past that set him on a brighter path. So I just liked it, and then you could really tell that Lance was stunned by it, and he was moved that he had such an effect on someone without really meaning to, really. So I like that. Now moving on to top 3 peeved moments. I have 2, and can you guess what one of them is? But let's get right into it. So one peeve I had was the fact that Diggle was very aggressive to the point that it had me wishing that he stayed in prison. I kept thinking his hot-tempered was just going to cause more trouble. He was going to punch that guy so hard he was going to end up killing him from all the brute force of it. And then he's going to be beating himself up over the guilt of it all. He's going to be more aggressive, taking out on people. It's just like, for Diggle, he's usually the one who's always calm and he's always level-headed, and he was like, you got to think about this before you go in guns blazing type of thing. But I felt like that wasn't him this episode, so I was a little disappointed for that. Second peeved moment, can you guess it? Can you guess it? It's Oliver being in bed with Susan, because automatically it reminded me of episode 206, which is the last time we were in Russia in the present day. And guess what happened in that episode? Oliver also slept with Isabel Roshev, and look how that turned out. She ended up being Slave Wilson's second in command and some crazy psycho mistress of his late father. I mean, and then at the end of this episode, we find out that Susan got her own confirmation that Oliver had a Bratva captain tattoo, and the only way she would have known that is because she just slept with the guy. So, and then she got her own confirmation that he was in Bratva he was in Russia in a time where he was supposed to be on an island, and the fact that there was a hooded character in Bratva, very similar to the Green Arrow, and what are the odds of Oliver Queen and the Hood being in the same city at the same time? So it's like, she spells bad news, and I hate it. I mean, how can Oliver be so blind? I mean, really? I mean, I was happy when we had episodes that didn't include her in it, and the fact that she's in it automatically puts her on a P for me, so I'll just leave it at that. Moving on, though, what will I remember most when I look back on this episode? We got to see Russia again. Therefore, we got to see Anatoly in the present day. So, even though he gave Oliver a punch as a greeting, it was great to see them sharing drinks at the end. Back to friend status for those two. So moving on, though, random questions. First one being, will Susan keep her new information about Oliver to herself? Will she let Oliver know that she knows about his nightly activities? Oh, I have no idea. I really don't. But what do you guys think in the comments down below? Much appreciated. Second question, though, will we see Rory again? I hope so. I mean, maybe he might find one of our other Arrow teammates who have kind of gone away for a moment, but hopefully we'll see him alive again soon. But next section, let's talk about predictions. So based off the promo for 513, it looks like there are men that attack the city, mainly City Hall, It looks like also that Quentin Lance tells Oliver that the Green Arrow can't solve this problem like normal. It looks like it has to be Oliver Queen who does it as the mayor. But based off the synopsis, though, for the episode, it reads that a traumatic attack on City Hall triggers painful memories for Renee about his family. Flashbacks reveal how Renee went from simple family man to a hero named Wild Dog. Meanwhile, Oliver must deal with the perpetrator behind the attack and realizes the best way to do so is as Mayor Queen instead of the Green Arrow. Tensions rise high in the Arrow bunker. And there's the timer, there's the synopsis. So I guess instead of seeing the Russia flashbacks, we're going to get one focused on Renee. And also, speaking of flashbacks, in this flashback, we got a flashback within a flashback. We got the Oliver and Russia flashback, having a flashback to the last time he was in Star City, seeing Thea buying drugs from her drug dealer that eventually Oliver killed. So that was interesting. A double flashback right there for you. So off of that, I have no idea what to expect. I still think that Susan is going to betray Oliver, like I've stated before in past videos. She's going to betray him, and even if she's going to be torn between what she should do, he's going to find it as a betrayal once he finds out, and hopefully dump her. But there's that. Also, I still think that Adrian Chase is the vigilante named Vigilante, because we haven't seen that vigilante since 508. So why has he been silent, and just where has he been? And I really think it's him, though. But that's about it, guys. What did you guys think of the episode? What did you guys like about it? What do you think is going to happen next? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your own thoughts, theories, and predictions about what you think is going to happen next. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check out my other videos if you haven't done so already. If you want, check out my Tumblr page. The link for that is down below. I read blog, promos, web clips, quotes, GIFs, synopses, news, all that good stuff, found all in one place. So go check it out and follow me there if you like. If you want, check out my WordPress account and follow me there. Everything from Tumblr is attached to WordPress. Everything from fan fiction, YouTube, all that is through WordPress, so you can find everything all in one place. And all organized and all nice. But it's still a work in progress, so just keep that in mind if you could check that out. And that's about it, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you come back next week to hear what I have to say about the next episode. But until then, guys, this is Mel wishing you all a great day, a great week wherever you are. Bye for now.